chronological, but again, I didn't want this to be an art historical lesson about, you know, the trajectory of your career. I really hope that we can focus in on the characters and how you created them, and the process, the collaboration, and the inspiration would be the touchstone points. So, let's dive right in. I kind of grouped them into categories, which is restrictive, but hopefully useful in some ways. So this first category is going to be badass real women. If any of you have Googled Dame Helen, you will see the word badass come up real quick.
I'm a very polite English woman.
I'm sure it's referring to the characters that you helped create. But it also, you know, made me scratch my head, because I think that is reductive. You know, the strong women characters, the strong female leads, as they like to put it. You know, that kind of creates a lack of nuance that I think the characters that you have made.
Well, I think the first mistake is to use the word strong, actually, because what always makes a character interesting and, you know, brings the audience in, it's not strength, it's vulnerability and weakness. You know, the great roles are to do with vulnerability and weakness, not to do with sort of strutting around, you know, arms akimbo, legs akimbo and arms folded kind of thing. So it's the investigation of the weakness underlying characters that maybe on the outside have power, but inside it's investigating weakness. So what you might call an interesting character is always to do with their weaknesses, not their strengths.
Well, that is so perfect, because the first set of clips that I'd like to look at are on Victoria, from John Mackenzie's 1980, The Long Good Friday. So just a bit of background. So all of the films that we'll speak about, other than the series Prime Suspect, are part of your homage here, so they're available to be seen if you haven't already seen them or seen them recently. But just a little bit of setup for The Long Good Friday. Originally, I read this was a TV production. It was meant to be a television film that...
I don't know about that, the background of it. Maybe way before I was involved. I think there was a point, you know, in that era in Britain, financing for this sort of film was very, very difficult. The English film in general British film, I should say, in general was not good. There was the odd film came out that was interesting, but it was pretty rare, and I think the financing was quite difficult. So, you know, maybe after it was finished, there was a sense of, with the distribution, with the financing, with the producers, there was a lot of up and down going on, I remember. So maybe there was a moment when they thought. But also it was an era when I would say, and I always used to say, that British film was alive and living on television, because that was where all the really interesting work was happening. And some of the film directors that subsequently became successful sort of Hollywood-type film directors actually were working on television at that time. And you had, you know, the great writers were working on television. Dennis Hopper. Not Dennis Hopper. Dennis, the great writer. Oh my God. Thank you, exactly. Dennis Potter, not Dennis Hopper. Was working on television. You know, there was the really talented people were working on television at the time.
Absolutely correct, and I think it was noted because now this film is listed as one of the great 100 British films, near the top of that list, actually. And I think, unfortunately, that would only have happened if it had the release it did, because, as you said, there were so many great television productions. But so it's set in the 70s London, on the edge of European greatness, right?
Back there again, aren't we?
We're right there. So Harold, played by the unbelievable Bob Hoskins. Just unbelievable, as you'll see.